Hey guys, this is Nate from RunDreamAchieve.com. Hope you guys are having a great week so far of training. Today's video I want to talk on a topic that a few of my visitors have been asking me about, and that is the marathon taper. And it's not so much just a taper focusing on the marathon distance, but regardless what distance you're focused on, whether you're a middle distance runner focusing more on the say the 800 meters or the mile, or you're focusing more on like the 5K to 10K or all the way up to the marathon. I think in terms of focusing on a taper, there are a lot of athletes around the world that really focus more so on a 3 week taper. This is what we've all been taught for the most part. Over the years, I've even focused on a 21-day taper or 3 weeks out from the big race. You start dropping your volume and your intensity of your workouts. But a training principle that I've followed for the past few years of my own preparation for the longer distances is a 10-day taper. And the reason why I focus on that in regards to whether it's a marathon taper or you're training for shorter distances all the way up to the longer distances, is it leaves you feeling less tired and less fatigued. A lot of athletes, and I've tried this over the years too, doing that 3 week out, start dropping out 3 weeks out from your main event. I've done that, and it always really left me feeling fatigued and lethargic, and like I started dropping too soon. And I really believe that a 10-day taper is critical if you really want to continue to remind your legs of what you're training your body to do up until 10 days out from your main event. All of my training programs and all my running courses on RunDreamAchieve.com are all based on that 10-day taper. And the reason why I did 10 days is because I set a 10-mile personal best of 50:54, a half marathon PR of 107:06, and a marathon PR of 2:19:35 based off of doing a 10-day taper. And obviously, in terms of your tapering preparation, there's so many things that you need to do right in order to get that, to be in that flow state where everything is just clicking, where you're reacting to the moves of your competition in the race. You're able to make those surges and then see if your competition slows up or if they're hurting or not. It's really important to not only do the little things that make the biggest differences in your peak event. Say doing longer runs, running a longer duration of your long runs at a higher percentage of your maximum heart rate, preferably around 85% of your maximum heart rate, and extending the duration of the time spent during your long runs at that effort, followed by the alternating each week, 1 week with a nice, easy, relaxed long run so you can recover from the harder long run efforts, and doing that on a consistent basis, along with your nutrition, focusing on getting plenty of rest, jogging on your recovery days. There are a lot of things that go into doing a perfect taper for whether you're training for the middle distances or the long distances up to the marathon distance. But I definitely think in terms of marathon taper, and what you need to be thinking about is definitely not starting your taper out too soon. Okay, and a lot of times we're taught that dropping volume and dropping intensity 3 weeks out from your main event will get you the best results. And for a lot of athletes, that is the case. It's not, I'm mentioning a 10-day taper. That's what worked for me, so it may not work for you. And even in my videos here on the channel, they're just suggestions. They're things that work the best for me, and what I've also helped athletes online as well get personal best. Like I coached one guy who dropped over an hour off his marathon personal best, following what I teach. So I think it's really important that one, you keep those things in mind, that we're all different. We all have different capabilities. But there's a lot of mistakes that you can make, and a lot of mistakes I've made over the years in terms of tapering and like I said, dropping your volume and dropping your intensity too far out from your main event a lot of times can make athletes feel more fatigued. And I think 10 days of proper tapering and significantly dropping your intensity and your volume, and allowing yourself time to recover from all those months and all those weeks and months of hard training will get you to get you to that peak race, get you prepared, and leave you feeling energized and fired up and ready to compete in that peak race that you're looking for. And like I said, over the years, I have had races where I did perform very well, even on with a 3-week taper. But I always perform my very best when I did a 10-day taper. So a few people have been asking me about that and what I think about it. So I definitely think that as you prepare for your races and as you go into a taper phase of your training, keep in mind, just continue to remind yourself you have done all of the work. There's not really much you can really do in terms of your anaerobic work in those last few days. But there's a lot of things you can do right, and most importantly, there are some things that you can do wrong as well, like continuing to run high mileage all the way up until 10 days out. You definitely want to start significantly dropping your volume, preferably around 50%, 10 days out, and then a week out from your big event, you really want to drop even more, about 75% of your volume. So you're not going to be wanting to be doing much in terms of volume, a few light workouts, especially the last 21 days, but specifically the last 10 days of leading into your big race. You're just maintaining what you've done. You're maintaining the work, the aerobic work and the anaerobic work that you've been doing for weeks and months leading up into your big race. I knew when I was about 10 days out from my marathon, I remember doing, it was more like about 2 weeks out from my personal best for the marathon. I remember doing 6 1-mile repetitions at 6,400 feet at Colorado, in Colorado Springs, in 4:48 to 4:49 per rep, with a 2-minute recovery between each rep. And I knew then I was ready to run a very, very strong marathon. But I was also doing all the other things that we talk about. Proper rest, jogging on recovery days so that and again, don't focus on what pace you're running on those days. If you have a route, don't wear a Garmin or even wear a watch on your recovery days. In fact, when I ran my personal best for the half marathon in Philadelphia, I ran 107.06 and got, destroyed. I ran 28. I placed 28th place. But it was the Rock and Roll Half Marathon. I think the winner ran around 101 or 102. I think I was about the 3rd or 4th American in the race, but I wasn't wearing a watch, and I wasn't wearing a watch when I ran 2:19:35. All I was focused on was leading into that race was a proper taper, going in, knowing that I did all the work. I wanted to do a few last-minute workouts, very light workouts, like 6 to 7 400-meter repetitions on the track, just a moderate effort with full recovery, very light. Usually also too, about 4 days before my marathon, I would always do a 3-mile or about a 5K tempo effort, but right around goal race pace. So I would do that 3-mile to 5K effort right around goal marathon race pace, 4 days out from a big race. And that was just that one last reminder of what I was training my body to do. It was just a reminder to remind my legs what I've been training them to do. And then those last 3 days, it was just like either jogging, walking, or just light stretching. And then again, focusing on nutrition, making sure I was getting plenty of fluids, pasta and salads, just proper food leading into the big race. Obviously, continuing to visualize success. I cannot stress enough how important the mental preparation is in terms of to be successful at the middle to long distance races. You have to mentally rehearse on a daily basis, and this is one area of our training that we very easily can neglect because we're so focused on the physical preparation. We're focused on doing the track workouts, the road sessions. All of these are very, very important and critical to running fast over long periods of time. But the marathon taper and tapering for regardless of what distance it is very, very important as well, and not dropping your volume and your intensity too soon. You want to continue to remind your body of what you're training it to do up until around 10 days out. And I guarantee you, if you give this a shot, you're going to see a difference. You should see a difference. And again, there are some athletes that perform much better off of a 3-week taper, and then there are athletes such as myself, and there are others out there that would do much better off of a 10-day taper. And again, all of my training courses and my training programs on RunDreamAchieve.com have a 10-day taper. So definitely consider those. I'll leave some resources below this video as well. And if you have any specific questions regarding the taper, something that I've missed in this video, feel free to leave me a comment below, or a topic that you want me to cover in my next video. Feel free to give me your thoughts and let me know what's on your mind. If you're brand new to the channel, my name is Nate Pennington. I'm a 219 marathoner, founder of RunDreamAchieve.com. I've been competing for about 28 years. Retired now, but competed for about 28 years. So definitely hit that like button. Give me a like. I really appreciate that. It helps the channel grow. And if you haven't yet, hit that bell icon, hit the subscribe button, so when I make a new video, you'll be notified of it. So I hope this video on marathon tapering, and not just the marathon distance, but all distances from 5K up to the marathon distance, really continue to focus on not dropping your volume and intensity too soon, so that you can ensure that you're not going to feel fatigued and tired leading into your taper. You want to feel energized and strengthened by that 10 days out from your main race. So I hope this video has been helpful for you guys, and I'll talk to you guys all in the next video.